shea butter. I recently discovered those are some of the biggest businesses. Manufacturing. Shea butter, palm oil. What else? Processing of food. Cassava meal, mealie meal, right? But, there's so many other things we can do. This is us from like our roots. You farm your maize, you do your cassava, you have to eat, you make it into something. But can we make something else? Shoes, earrings, I don't know. Can you think, to be honest with you, do you know, we manufacture one or two things in our company, but it's not that hard to manufacture things. I know it sounds hard, like manufacturing machines, I know it sounds hard. But you people, you can manufacture things, like even these chairs. I don't know how to, but I can learn. That's what I mean, like that possibility mindset, like, is it possible for me to manufacture something? People are just like, decorators, that's too deep. It's deep. You have to get the market share. You have to get a share of the market. So, I'm about to go, MCs. I'm about to stand and go. But this is an analysis. Is it an analysis? This is something I found out. Let's start. Let's take a walk with me. Let's start from Makeni Road. Imagine yourself walking, not driving. Well, you move fast. You pass what I want you to see. Imagine yourself walking. Who owns those industries? Just the shops. Who owns them? It's the Arabs, because that's where I stay. So I know them, those people. That's where they stay. First of all, they stay in Makeni. Makeni is like, you don't say Makeni Bonaventure, Makeni what. In fact, most of the houses which are close, those are their homes. So they've built those communities to be close to their work. So they stay in Makeni. Let's move Makeni. Let's come Palato Asanga China Moka. So both Ukunoku, most of them, both left and right side of the road, Kafure Road, it's them. Let's go to Carousel Mall. We have a bit of the Chinese. Most of them Arabs, most of them Kaya, Kwinango. But most of them foreigners, right? Let's go Lumumba Road. Comesa will find some Zambians who import things from China. Most of those things. Let's pass the traffic lights. Let's continue going. Tuarasanga city markets, Payaka. Are you walking with me? Okay. Then let's keep going. When we pass city market, we find Lumumba bus station. Okukuri ama hardwares, right? Or Arabs. This is your town, Lusaka Town Center, CBD, in Zambia. No, trust me, try. Kamwala, who owns Kamwala? It's the Mwenyes and the Arabs. I'm trying to show you that we're a consumer nation. So they own Kamwala, they own Madras area, that's their houses. Kulia, Kamwala South, Kamwala, Nikumwawo, that's where they stay. Then, okay, let's come to town. First come to Lima Tower, not Fumeko Kulumumba Road. But, yonse lama industries, yonse area kuluku industrial area, banani, they are for Arabs, Indians. Then we come now, let's come to Lima Tower. From Lima Tower to Millennium, who owns those shops? Whether they sell fridges, whether they sell groceries, whether they sell spices, whether they sell automotive, who owns those? Let's come to Chachacha Road, Fidelity, Bata, Town Center, we have some Zambians. After that, those hardwares in Chachacha Road, all of them, Kurafmina na Kuhonda, it's them. Cairo Road, who owns the banks? That's town. Who stays in Rhodes Park, North Mid, all the places that are near? There are some Zambians, but I can promise you, we've just mapped out the whole town. Who stays in Emersdale? Who stays in Villa? Yes. So what am I talking about? They own the market. everything. They own restaurants, see, for selling shima and pies and drinks. What I'm trying to tell you is get a share of the market. I'm not telling you kick them. I don't know about that. But I'm just saying get a share, at least even just 1%. Okay. Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity.
Good morning, everyone. How are we doing? Okay, I hope we've enjoyed the session, the first speaker. Okay, he introduced himself, but I think he also reintroduced himself. My name is Tandiwe Mwale. I wanted to say amen, but anyway, yes. Okay, so I hope we've been taking down notes. Please don't be discouraged that we're a few. We are believing that many people are on their way. But I would like to just highlight something. You know, there's a saying that goes like, I'm no longer praying for the bread, I'm praying for the bakery, even the baker. So it's not about, the knowledge that she has dashed out is something it's a treasure on its own. You don't just take notes. You have to apply. They say knowledge is power, right? And it's more powerful when you apply it. So don't just let it end in your notepads. Learn to practice it. If it's working for someone, definitely when you take the first step, and don't wait for the money to be enough. With the small monies you have, you can do something big. It starts from there. I know there is on WhatsApp, there are people who say something like, eat the 100 kwacha, it won't buy you the Benz. Who has seen those ones? But you know, with just a small saving, you are adding to what you need. It may not even be the Benz itself. It can be the capital to that business. You don't eat your seed, people of God. You know, the Bible even tells us to say that he gives seed to the sower and bread to the who? Thanks. But you know that even where you are a sower on your own. So you don't have to eat the whole 100 kwacha. It may not buy the Benz, but at least even the 50 kwacha reserve, you can keep it, buy drips and sell them and get profit, and it gets you something. Then you redo it, and you're adding to the money that you need. You don't need 100,000 to start a business, even the smallest amount. So one of the things I've taken note is be proactive. Don't let your dreams just end as dreams. You have to be bold enough to take the first step. And don't wait for things to be money to be enough. Start with what you have. Even God asked Moses, what is in your hand? The widow was asked to say, what do you have in your house? She said she has oil. That is all you need. Amen. All right, I'll give it to my colleague to also give just a few highlights of what he has learned as at now.
Thank you very much. For those who may not know me, my name is Daniel Makai. And, I was thinking back to last year, or the last business symposium we had, and I realized the deliberate steps that our man of God is taking to ensure that we have a full package in the House of the Faith Church. We've had an academic symposium. We are now having a business symposium. We have the Word. We have study groups in fellowships where each field of study has a group where the students, regardless of the year or whether they finish, they're there and they're interacting, and all these different systems that are set up to have that full package. And I'm so grateful to our man of God and the leadership of the church to facilitate all these things. That was just a side note, right? So one of the things that I learned from Deaconess's time was that you need to realize how much you need to put in. And I'll tie it with what she's from saying. She's basically saying, we're not saying that you should start doing that thing for, I started with one grain of rice, and now I have a whole farm. That's not what we're saying, but it's what we're saying. You get it, right? What I'm saying is be practical, but be crazy enough to start with almost nothing. Because that's faith. That's what faith is about, right? They say faith without actions is dead. So which means the actions are you being practical, but the faith is you being crazy. So both have to be there. Amen. All right. So that's just in a nutshell what I've learned. Maybe let me put this as a cherry on top. Don't wait for resources, but be resourceful. Amen. If you haven't learned anything so far, write that down. Don't wait for resources, be resourceful. Amen. All right. So right about now, we are going to go into another segment where I know some of you might be thinking, no, but she's married, she has children. How can I relate to her advice? And what's that? I'm not saying that you can't learn from someone who's ahead of you. You should learn from someone who's ahead of you. But just to help you, we're going to have students as well who are going to come here and share their experiences and their achievements as well. One of them is still a student, and the other is a recent student. So we thought of you. We thought of those still students. We thought of those who have just left that space and are in a transition. All right. So help me with a round of applause. Welcome to the stage. In fact, we're going to do a aha kind of thing. So there are a number of things that she does, right? Oh, it's something I didn't realize that that we started. No, you're sharp. You are sharp. You heard once. I spoke once, you heard twice. Right, so I'll say her name at the end. She is a co-owner of these streets, dealing in pastries. She's the founder of Imani Adorn, dealing with undergarments. She's a third-year law student at the University of Lusaka. Give her a round of applause. Her name is Onati Dure. We can do better than that. Let's encourage her. Let's encourage her. Awesome, awesome, awesome.
Hi. Thank you so much for that amazing welcome. Before I go any further, I would like to acknowledge my man of God, my Mavis, and the entire leadership, Mrs. Mopemo. Thank you so much. Sometimes I feel like she believes in me way more than I believe in myself. So my task here is very simple. I've been asked to share my journey so far. Like Daniel already introduced me, my name is Onati. I'm currently a third-year law student at the University of Lusaka. I'm in 3-2, third year, second semester. So I'm just going to give you a backstory of how I started my business, why I started my business, some of the challenges that I've had. How do you manage being a business owner while still in school? How do you balance? And the most important part, there's also ministry, right? Because I feel like I do more ministry than I do these other things. So the first question, how did I start and when did I start my business? I started my business in first semester. So what prompted me to start my business was a teaching that senior pastor did in Avondale. So at that particular time, we were learning. He even told us to listen to character development. Then we listened to the wisdom of a serpent. Then he taught the importance of troubles. So in that particular sermon, he talked about how the biggest businesses were birthed because there was a problem that they were solving. So now, at that time, I didn't necessarily have a business. I just got saved. I was new, like I was still new, still doing discipleship. But then I went back home and I really thought about that teaching, like what problem can I solve? So now, later on, we were given maybe partnership, and then we had a bus. We had a bus as, we have buses in the church. The church was doing buses, like the church was paying for buses at the time. So I was thinking, the allowance I'm being given is not enough to pay for my buses. People were like, you should be bringing them more often, like you should be bringing them to class. So now, at that time, the problem I was solving was a personal problem that I needed to give more in church. Basically, that's why I started my business, because I needed to give more. That's the reason I started my business. Every business that I start, it's because I need to give more in the house of God. I've never always necessarily thought of myself. So one of the most important things, even when you're doing your business, is how is my business serving the next